Aloha. So this is a audio only stream going on right now, and the purpose of this stream is to talk about the mindset of a abundant and successful person. Now, whether you're making money through your own business, you're making money through trading, forex, stocks, crypto, the most important thing, the most important asset we have is our state of mind. So for a trader, for an investor, for a successful being, our state of mind is the most important asset we have. Our mind is an instrument. It is a lens. It is a reflection. And it is a deep well or an expansive ocean filled with creativity, filled with information, thoughts, emotions, perceptions. All of this is in our mind. And so, to be successful, to be abundant, to be rich, not just in money, but in all aspects of life, in our skill sets, in the way we interact with people, in our character, to become wealthy and rich and abundant, first starts with awareness. Becoming aware of our breath, becoming aware of our feelings, of our triggers, of our fears and doubts, and of where we are confident, among many other things. But it starts with awareness. To know thyself. To be abundant and rich in knowing thyself. So that, let me give you an example. If someone stresses you out throughout the day, or does something that can normally stress you out, you're able to identify the feeling of stress. Pause and breathe during the trigger, and instead of impulsively reacting, we think about our choices. We think about our actions. Every time I reacted in this way, what happened? So that's called awareness. Taking mental note. Every time I reacted in this way, what happened? And then we go on like that in the list, and that gives you time to calm down, that gives you time to reflect and think, and it changes the unconscious pattern of reaction. So we as successful traders, we don't want to become a traitor of ourselves. When we act in a way that is against our best self-interest, that is becoming a traitor. But a trader, one who makes successful trades, who trades risk for reward, is not an impulsive being. Is a being that is able to self-reflect and be able to take a sacred pause when the time is not right to act.
time to act and there's a time for action. And as the Taoists and the Buddhists, especially the Taoists, because my thought is the Tao is the oldest. It's the essence. It's the knowing, which we already have within ourselves. So all the wise men and women out there, they know that to act on the impulse of an emotion weakens us, weakens our self-control, our discipline, and acting in our best interest, because sometimes what feels good in the moment won't create long-lasting good results. But oftentimes what's difficult in the moment, which often is being able to have restraint, being able to have emotional control, being able to pause during the impulse. Being able to pause, that is a strength that acts in our best interest. Because then when we reassess, we might think, well, wait a second, I know what happens when I act in this way, because it's a repeated pattern. Every time I act in this way, the result I get is the same. It never changes. And how do I feel afterwards? Not very good, right? I'm talking about when you react in a way that is against your best self-interest. So the traders, they got a desire to make money. They got a desire to leave their 9 to 5. They got a desire to work from home and travel and be successful and maybe even impress their friends and family by the fact that they did it. And that's not a bad thought and desire and wish. But when it blinds one to whether or not there's an opportunity in the moment to act or not, then you know, that requires the self-control and the pause. So coming back to it, there's a time for action and there's a time for inaction. Meditation teaches us how to become inactive, which might be the best action to do, is just to stop and just to wait and pause and observe. So it's imperative to have a practice of meditation. Whatever that might look for you, taking that pause, reflecting, becoming aware, observing, and not reacting. That is a superpower and that is a strength. And so this is my Sunday evening here in beautiful Pacific Islands. A reminder to step into your power, step into your strength, listen to yourself. You know the answer, you know the way. Don't let anyone else tell you where you're supposed to go. You know where to go, you know where to be. So now what you gotta do is listen to your true self that knows where to go and who to be, and become that. And don't listen to the voice of fear that's in the little back of the mind saying you can't do it, or that's too bold of a move, or oh, you know, that person's able to do it but I'm just an ordinary person. Don't listen to that voice, because you're not ordinary. You're extraordinary. There's no one like you in this world at all. Not one person that I can think of that's going to be exactly like you. So you know what to do. You know the answer. You know the way. You know what's right in your heart. And so when that impulse comes, which is information, it's just what the mind gathers. We see it on TV, we see it on movies and shows, that this is how people react to these situations when they're frustrated or scared. But you don't have to react like everyone else. You don't. You can actually best course of action. Discipline, self-control, practice. It's a practice. You might not do it the first time, but don't give up. Keep trying. Keep trying. You're gonna find your path. You're gonna find your way. You're gonna find the universal codes that work. There's sacred geometry. There's patterns of life. They repeat themselves in positive, life-giving ways. And every living being wants to live. Every living being wants to be happy. Wants to be taken care of. Wants to be held. Wants to be heard. And so it's time for us to become that life-giving energy for the world. It's time to put away the patterns that we learned from the impulse of environment and what is a result sometimes of anger, fear, frustration, lust. When I talk about lust, I mean like an intense desire that is impulsive. And what we've learned from that is not our true self. That is just the senses reacting with the objects of the senses. The senses, they each connect with a different object in this world. And we are not just our senses. We are the observer. We are the sensor. And so, when you connect with that self, in the stillness and the presence of your breath, that is the key, that is the gateway to manifesting your reality, becoming the person you want to be. To actually line up with how you want to be treated, you have to become that for others. Become that for others. So you want to be successful and you know the way, you have to act on it. It can't just be theoretical knowledge. It can't just be lip service. You have to become the full embodiment of that. And you don't have to prove it to anyone. You don't have to try to make anyone else that. You become it in full, and you will teach that to the world by your actions, by who you are. And a trader that is successful long term doesn't show off, doesn't compare themselves to others, doesn't compete, doesn't brag. Keep that stuff to yourself and to your own soul, because the more you're calm during those times when abundance comes, and it's gonna keep coming. When you get excited, you freak out, and you make a show, it scares away that being. Because abundance is a being, it's a conscious, sentient being that chooses by the grace of their presence to be in our life. Just like in nature, you're not gonna chase a bird, an animal, to make it come to you. You're gonna wait, and you're gonna be still, and you're gonna vibrate on a level that they recognize as family, and they'll come to you. They'll come to you. You might have to have a little offering for them, maybe a little food, a little water, a little song. They will come to you. And it's the same thing with wealth and money and abundance. It's an energy of frequency. We represent it on a physical form with different means. But what is the universal code that our ancestors, the ones who built great civilizations and kingdoms, what is it that they knew? What consciousness do they have to do the great things that they did? It's a state of mind. It's a consciousness. And when we embody that on the mental realm, then the physical realm will follow. Because where attention goes, energy flows. And many people can agree out there that there's a super mind in this universe that coded this creation, the galaxies, everything. Whether it's not, I'm not saying it's going to be a person like you and me in a human form, but there's some kind of creative mind that doesn't need to speak, but is always known. That's ever present
everywhere all at once and yet nowhere to be found. The great mystery. If we try to understand it too much, we become confused and we forget. So the greatest way that a river can be is to flow. The river doesn't try to fight its flow. It goes and it meets the ocean. And so we got little rivers of energy flowing through us. We just gotta let ourselves be. The letting go is, there's so much things we hold on to and we identify with that is not us anymore. That's the past. That's mistakes. That's impulses. That's youth. That's trial and error. You can't keep judging yourself for who you were in the past. At one point, you're gonna have to realize you're a whole being, and you're not your past anymore. You're this present moment, and right now is your destiny to fulfill. Right now, you don't have to prove it to anyone. And I bet you this: the source of creation loves you unconditionally. And the source of creation wants you to be happy and abundant and free. And the source of creation wants you to be taken care of and loved. And once you want yourself to be that fully too, and you believe in yourself as much as the source of creation believes in you, then everything will transform like waking up from a dream. And you'll realize all the things that haunted you, all the things that hurt you, it's like a dream. They don't affect you anymore. They rest in the past. And the future is going to come from who we are right now. So this is an encouragement from your older brother right here. I'm speaking to you from love, from the soul. I've been around the block. I've seen many things. And I know people, the majority of people out there are good-hearted people. They just been through a lot, and they just need someone to confirm to them that yes, it's been a very challenging journey, and yes, you have had many failures, and you had many times where you felt hopeless, and those feelings are valid. I'll tell you that you went through that, you went through the difficulties, but you know what? You survived it, and you wouldn't be who you are today. And you wouldn't be listening to this message right now if you weren't meant to keep going. And that happiness that you're looking for, to have a nice home, to have a family, to have people to take care of, to be taken care of, that's going to come to you. Become that for the world right now. Treat the world that way. Make the transformation. Cold turkey. Let go of everything that was holding you back. And just embrace yourself fully. Love yourself fully. I believe in you. I know you can do it. You're destined for this. You're destined for this liberty. And every atom in creation vibrates on a frequency. And you're going to understand the universal codes and how your frequency is so important. You're a piece of the puzzle. You're connected to all of us. So I wish you all a beautiful night. This is a message, sound vibration for you from the soul. You know where to reach me if you ever want to connect with our community. You want to have a place where you feel that connection. And we keep talking about these topics. We share ideas with each other. We share trade ideas. We share story, everything. Live streams together. If you want to know about this, send me a DM. We'll connect. You got anything that stuck out to you from this monologue, just send me a little reflection. This is Eternal Flow Trading, and wishing you all a beautiful, beautiful night, and maybe a joyful rising wherever you are in the world. And keep on keeping on. It ain't over till we win. And the victory, you know what it is, right? It's just to be yourself. So keep going.